That's a great way to start the podcast. Thanks, Simon. We have a newbie on the podcast tonight. Do you mind just introducing yourself, bro, and tell us a little bit about what team you support, even though it's pretty obvious?
I know it's kind of obvious. Yeah, my name's Keanu. I've been supporting Liverpool for probably 2008. But really been watching football probably the last 10 years. As a kid, I was just supporting Liverpool because of my brother. And then playing football and watching someone like Steven Gerrard now and then was like kind of my idol. So yeah, that's why I decided Liverpool. Not because of the accolades back in the day.
Let's just get that straight.
Cool,
bro,
welcome,
welcome,
back either.
Welcome.
Let's dive right in, guys. Manchester derby. Simon, I don't know if you want to
really, guys. Simon, Sander.
Let's start with Simon first.
Well, okay, let me say, I was happy with the game just because I could see that beautiful goal by Rashford, right?
Okay.
That was enough for me because I went into it, I knew things weren't looking good, you know what I mean? But I feel like we put up a fair fight. We made a few chances. City definitely deserved to win. But you know what? When you're playing at the Etihad, you know, sometimes you just have to say, now we're sitting back and playing on the counter. You know, sometimes you just have to say that. And we didn't do it for the whole game. There were parts of the game where, you know, we were passing it around a bit, especially when we were 1-0 up. You know, I think if Foden doesn't score that crazy goal, then, you know, we could have maintained that pressure. But yeah, no, after that first goal, I knew floodgates are open. I even said it.
Like, you know, when you come to the Etihad, it's automatic. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's like you can see like how United were like, you know, you can see like glimpses of what they were trying to do. You know, it was unfortunate that Højlund wasn't there. Because I think if they had Højlund,
100%.
it was going to be a lot more like, I would say dynamic from what they could do with like Rashford, like on the side, and then Højlund as well. Because they've been doing really well when he's there. So, but for City, I'm happy. Foden, the guy that's stepping up now, he's got what? Is it 11 goals now?
10 goals and 7 assists. But it's 18 goals and 10 assists, I think, in all competitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so I'm really happy for him. Like, because I don't know if he's doing his personal or best or overall, but I'm just happy for him. Like, he's really like in his stride right now, like being consistent. And Haaland, I don't. I'm still shocked. Like,
Dude, he missed the sitter. Just to say that, I said
3
it's not all
yards.
that. This guy, like, we were all like, "Oh, that's goal." This guy misses it. Then he's the most shocked one. What happened, bro?
Because even
That's
Kito
some
said
weak
it.
shit, bro.
Like, because Kito said it, like, when Foden scored, I think the first goal, the second goal is like, you're saving my job, like, because I missed a clear-cut chance. And you know, I'm like, it's facts, but yeah, no. I'm happy with the guys, but yeah, no.
I also want to say, Johnny Evans, guys, he had a game
Before he came over.
for his age, and I think he played pretty well. You know, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think he defended
if we had
well.
Martinez, so
Sure.
I mean, he's like the fourth he's supposed to be like the fifth choice. You know what I mean? And Lindelof is also down there. Lindelof is bad, guys.
And he was playing left back as well.
And I had to step in left back, dude. That's a very big ask, dude.
And then Amrabat came in at left back and conceded a goal immediately.
Yo, Amrabat, bro. Guys, when you're starting Evans and like subbing on players like Amrabat to try to salvage the game, it's very dangerous water. But I thought Evans,
bro. And Anthony.
and Anthony.
Anthony came on for Rashford.
They call him Spinner Rooney, bro. Spinner Rooney, that's the one.
Yeah, but trust in my boy Anthony. I believe in him. One day is one day. We'll see him shine.
I think.
I don't think in the Premier League.
Hey,
I don't think in the Premier League.
we'll see.
Yeah.
That guy.
Mentality, bro.
I mean, you maybe could step up to the plate, but I don't see him being that guy. Like
I don't think
he's
He
he
was
looks too much time on the ball. He's not that quick. With Premier League, it's a very, very fast-paced league. You can't sit and do all this type of things. He doesn't have enough time to think. And when he's pressurized, it's done. Like he gives up the ball, counter-attacks, and then he doesn't track back that well either. I think he's a good player. I think he has the qualities to be a great winger, but I just don't think Premier League's cut out for him.
In Serie A, bro. In Serie A, man will shine.
Yeah,
I think he'd struggle in Saudi Arabia. Honestly, I don't see anything. I don't see anything that.
all I'm saying is we haven't seen him with confidence. And confidence is so important. It's like the key ingredient, And if you haven't seen a player play with confidence, you haven't seen him play.
The best.
I feel like he scored on his debut, right, against Arsenal. Like, what was it, September 2022? And he was super confident for like maybe 3, 4, 5 games, but it almost felt like he was overconfident because he scored in his first couple of games, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm that guy. England is easy." And he literally didn't register a goal for like 8 months after that. So I just feel like he's. It's not even that he set the bar too high. It's that he was like, this is chips. This is easy. And then his like performances just didn't like match.
Yeah.
The arrogance or whatever. Exactly.
Yeah.
One guy said he has Ronaldo's confidence with Bebe's footballing ability. And I feel like that's very.
Yeah, dude. The harsh reality of the Premier League sets in also, where it's like any club could give you a run for, like your money on a particular day. Like some clubs, you play them at home. On paper they like maybe average or whatever, but they just maybe well coached and they just have the feeling, and they could make it super tough for like any great team. So it's difficult to be that like consistently good in the Prem. Like as Keanu was saying, it's a very demanding league.
I wanna just before we move on, I wanna ask Simon something. Simon, obviously, Rashford had those 2 big chances after he scored, where he knocks the ball with his head and then the ball goes behind him. And then a few minutes later, the ball gets crossed in and he just takes a complete like pot shot, air shot.
Yeah.
Do you think if he makes either chance, like if he can get like not even if he scores one of those chances, because both of them realistically, he could have done more. Do you think you guys could have like held on? Like, do you think you could have like won? Like, I feel like there's thin margins.
I think, look, if let's say he scored one of those 2 chances, I just think we'd be sitting back and it would just be like up to City. If City, finish their chances, then they would probably still beat us. But if they having a bad day, or maybe we get lucky, or Nana makes a few good saves, then we would win. But if City are on their game, then we're not. Somehow they
like I think the team like City, they are so good at playing that type of game when people sit back. City, they'll play through that, dude. They are phenomenal. I mean, we've seen it happen. I've unfortunately seen it happen. What Aston Villa was 2-0 up on the final day. But I think they come back to dude, City. So I mean, you can't be that confident after. It's all based on how City are on the day in terms of their attack. Like, I mean, we've seen it with Chelsea. They weren't great. Yes, they had a lot of possession, but they weren't clinical with their chances. So, like, if it was 2-0, in my opinion, I'd still rate City to somewhat get something out of the game, especially that early in the game. But Rashford yesterday was a mixed bag. Like, the goal was brilliant, and then I don't know what happened afterwards.
Dude, what happened is he thought he proved everyone wrong, and he let it go to his scope. It's one goal, bruh. calm down, bro. It's one goal. Like,
Nah, but that was
now
a
I'm the king
screamer,
of
bro.
But
the
it was a
world.
crazy,
No.
it was a crazy goal.
Nah,
It
no, it was a
was.
beautiful goal.
The whole
It was
world
a
was
beautiful
stunned.
goal, guys. Don't
That
get
was
me
a great
wrong.
goal.
Gorgeous goal. It was lovely.
Yeah.
But that you still
And
have to
after
be
that
there for
article
like
in-
85 minutes, bro. Like, focus up.
Did you guys know that I actually saw it randomly on Instagram? For a team that's not consistent, you know that United lost their first game going into halftime with the lead. They lost their first game in 143 games. I didn't know that.
Yo.
City broke that record, dude. I didn't know they were that consistent. So going into halftime with the lead, they had lost. I think the last time they did it was when Leicester came back, I think in 2015 or some ridiculous stat like that. They came back to win, like, I think 5-3 or something. That was the
is so
last time
crazy.
United lost the game since going into halftime with the
Wow.
lead.
Yo.
14 has
Crazy
not
insane,
consistent.
bro.
Ridiculous. But that's what I was
Yeah.
like, what? 143 games, dude. The Premier League it's madness.
Oh.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. But kids, so also something Simon said about Onana maybe makes a few good saves and things so differently. I honestly think he could have done maybe a little bit better on that second Phil Foden goal. I mean,
Yeah.
Phil Foden placed that. Onana got down, got a touch to it, but just kind of, he couldn't divert it away.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
maybe a
Yeah.
better keeper who can get down a little bit quicker, actually does save that. So that also plays a role. Also, kids, so the question you asked, even when they were 1-1, right? Even when City had scored, I still felt if Man United could have gotten a second goal, that they could have maybe drawn the game. I always thought
Exactly.
if United scored again, a draw was on the cards. Like, I don't think they could win, even with a 1 or 2 goal lead. But yeah, I was hopeful for a draw.
To Liverpool, they won at the death against Nottingham Forest on Saturday, keeping the title
Snagging a
race firmly
1-0
alive.
victory.
Keanu, thoughts on the game?
That's what we do best. I mean, we are lacking at the moment in terms of our firepower. And you could see that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Conor Bradley played a good game, and so did who's the guy in the midfield? I forgot his name.
Bobby Clark.
Bobby Clark.
Clark, yeah.
He's Clark.
Took a few shots, yeah.
He played a decent game, but you could see that, like, without Tack as well. Like, Harvey Elliott, I do rate him. I think he's a really good player, but I don't really rate him that well on the right wing. I think, again, he wants a lot of time on the ball as well. Whereas with Salah, he's quick, dude. His pace is phenomenal. His acceleration alone. And that's what's needed in the Premier League. I don't feel like Harvey has that. He's not that quick to play on the wing.
I think Harvey's more of a squad player, to be honest. But yeah,
I mean,
like, that's how I see him.
I don't mind the midfield, dude. Like, I feel like he could have a really good impact because he's got a phenomenal left foot on him. He can take a shot, and he's very intelligent with his game. Like the passes he tries to put off, he's really good. So I do rate him in that regard. But at the moment, I think there's obviously a lot better players that could play in either positions that he's playing in. So whether it's midfield or it's right wing. So, like, we lacked a lot of firepower, and quite frankly, Forest should be up if it weren't for Queehen, Kala. If it weren't for him, dude, they should be up.
Wow.
And he's been phenomenal. He's been really great. And I think I boil it down to his size and his stature. Like, if you look at the saves he makes, he gets down low extremely quick because
Very
guy.
quick, yeah.
He's actually an average size guy, but he gets there good and he's very quick. So I rate him big time. I think he's probably one of the best seconds to have in Europe, I would say. Yeah, he's phenomenal. And it's been consistent, dude. I mean, he's shown up for, as you would know, kids, for other finals as well. So he definitely kept us in the game. And Van Dijk, dude, I've got a shout out for Van Dijk because obviously a lot of people comment on his inconsistent or comparing him to people like Terry, to John Terry, what's the guy?
Ferdinand, Vidic,
Ferdinand, those guys, Vidic, they all compare him to them.
Campbell, yeah.
Exactly, Sol Campbell. But I mean, for the modern era, he's been colossal, dude. He's been amazing, especially this season. He's been incredible. And him and the goalkeeper definitely kept us in the game. I know you guys are going to bring up the controversial decision by our favorite referee out of everyone, Paul Tierney. Yeah.
Bro, that was supposed to be Nottingham's ball, bro. They shouldn't even have had that goal. But you
2
made,
minutes.
what you made, bro.
2 minutes
I
earlier.
understand, dude. I understand. But there's this narrative around it where it's like people comparing that with the Tottenham, and it's like, oh, now it's even. It's completely different, dude. It was literally 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes, dude.
Jurgen Klopp was like, I don't know how many passes we had to play to get in there. Like, you guys are
Exactly. It's
talking
ridiculous.
shit.
I mean, Sadio Mane's got the quickest hat trick in the Premier League. And I think it's 2 minutes something, right? It's like 2 minutes 40 for Southampton that time. That shows you there's so much that can happen in football, especially football, within 2 minutes. Look, the decision was weird. I thought it was weird because when I was watching the game, saw the cross come in and then went to Hudson-Odoi and I was like, oh, that's weird. Why didn't they get possession of the ball? But I mean, that didn't really dictate the outcome at all.
Sure.
Because
I agree.
we played well, but go for it.
Yeah. But you now go for it. I just wanted to ask you a question, but you can finish it.
No, I was just saying. I think with Liverpool, the mentality they've always dubbed them as the mentality monsters, and I mean it's shown in this season. And yeah, but average game, bro. At best,
Sure.
I wasn't really impressed.
There's it right there, bro. Like I said, the best teams, and again, we consider the Prem to probably be the best league in the world. So, like we mentioned about City, same as you guys, the best teams find a way. You find a way to win whatever the situation is. You have to get something from the game. I just wanted to ask you because I think I caught the second half of that game, but not the first half. Jurgen Klopp in the interview said that in the first half of that very game, the ref made Sportiani made the same decision, but the other way.
Yeah.
He said that, like the same thing. Liverpool had it, and then they paused, and then they also did. Is that true?
Yeah. There was a decision. That one though was a bit marginal. So the rules is apparently when the ref blows. So if it's an instant head injury and he blows at that time, then it's goal. It goes to the goalkeeper. But the thing is, the difference was with Hudson-Odoi, he had already had possession of the ball, and he decided to blow. So then technically it should go back to him. So it did happen. There was an instance, but the way he blew it was much more. It was marginal because the possession was going to land to a Liverpool player. But
and again, there was a lot in between. I get that point. There was a lot that happened in between when the ball was actually distributed.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I saw Mike Dean. There was an interview with Mike Dean, and he was like, "It's a monumental error, dude." That was like, what are you talking about? Why are you? What the hell? But
the media loves getting behind. Going against winners, bro. It's just how
it's always been. It's always been, and I mean that's why like a lot of players, in my opinion, that come and play in the Premier League, a lot of them can drop off so quickly. I'm so happy for Darwin Núñez not to be affected by that. I mean, that man still goes. Yes, he misses horrible sitters, dude, but he's still there. He's trying to be consistent. He wants to get there. He's
still scoring goals. He's still creating opportunities for the team. He's just doing his thing, bro.
Exactly.
Who was the best player, Keanu, you got? The goalkeeper on the day?
Player of the match.
Who do you think had the best performance, on the day?
Definitely goalkeeper, Definitely. Cool. Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. You could scream also Alexis McAllister. I think he's really developed in that midfield role now, especially that he's not playing that 6.
Now that he doesn't need to play the 6,
He's been great. But I think the goalkeeper, considering all the chances Nottingham Forest had, cheapest. Surprised we haven't conceded anything.
True. You lucky. I've had better strikers, better finishers.
Yeah. I mean, they've got great finishers, dude. Nottingham Forest.
They do. Like, they're not bad players.
But shout out to, what's his name, Awani, ex-Liverpool player. Shout out to him for not clearing the ball. Shout out. He's a diamond Liverpool.
Are you talking about right at the end? Are you talking about right at the death?
Yes, bro.
Dude,
exactly.
I was like, they literally turned position over and they started running at you from their box in like the 100th minute. What are you doing? You can draw against Liverpool, just clear the fucking ball. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'm also like, bro, you're drawing against Liverpool, the fucking top team of the Prem right now. Just clear the ball. Nah, these guys are like, now we're gonna go score. Watch this. Look at me.
You were like, I have you, bro. I've got you back. Last season, no problem.
Bro. I'm
Yeah,
so
that was
mad at
that
that.
was tough to watch. I can imagine for the rival fans, dude. It's the exact same way I felt with you guys and Luton on the dying end of the game, dude. You guys score the winning goal. It's the
Yeah,
exact
hey,
same.
that's small team mentality, bro. It's like small dick energy. Shame. Wait, any other questions, gents, on the Liverpool one or comments?
Yeah, I
Nah.
think what Keanu said about Darwin is like really important. Obviously, because he also missed a couple of games. He missed the Carabao Cup final, even though he celebrated the winner as if like nothing was wrong. This guy who was supposed to be nursing an injury was jumping over the stands and the advertisement hoarding. So it's a bit
Adrenaline.
suspicious. They just said he wanted the day off. But I think obviously going because Sunday's City Liverpool, and I feel like the stakes almost couldn't be higher given like they won that game so narrowly and City came from behind. And I think before the end of the March, I think the last weekend of this month, Arsenal also go to the Etihad. So effectively, your guys' teams are just going to be battling it out between now and the end of March, and obviously till the end of the season.
I'll be honest, it's a huge statement, but I'm really glad that Connor Bradley's there. Someone like Connor Bradley, because you guys are definitely going to have most of the possession, right? And someone that can actually defend on that right, but also break at the same time. Like he's got so much energy. He reminds me of Robertson, but a right back of Robertson. Like he can defend, and when he breaks really well. And his crosses are not too bad either. So I'm glad Connor's there because I feel like if we can break that intense midfield of yours and actually get someone like Darwin Núñez on his bike, we have a good chance of scoring one or two goals at least. Especially on the break, because I think that's the best type of approach to the game. We can't hold position in City. That's even at Anfield, that's almost impossible because you guys are brilliant at keeping possession. And like quite frankly, like I don't like City because obviously they have tainted our chances of winning more than one. But I mean, you've got to give it to Pep Guardiola and what he's done to that team, bro. Like he can bring anyone and make them look fantastic. It's really incredible to watch.
Yeah, the movement of the players on that team, bro. The way they understand exactly where to pass and where to be. The way they can break teams down, dude, is just like I know I also hate them. Don't get me wrong. I hate how much they're winning. But just watching the football sometimes it's just like you gotta applaud it, bro. Really.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Away. Kitso, talk to us, bro. Brentford played Chelsea and drew 2-2.
Hold on.
What was your take on the game, bro?
I'm just gonna shoot through this because it was miserable. Yeah, obviously this game was at the same time as the Forest Liverpool game, so I didn't really see that. I had to watch the highlights of that game. But it's so tough because Pochettino didn't necessarily make excuses in the post-match press conference, but he gave like reasons, if you will, as to why things aren't necessarily clicking. Obviously, it was our third game in 6 days, but like Liverpool could say the same thing. But he rotated the team in a weird way. When the lineups first came out, it looked like Levi Colwill was going to play left back, and then Ben Chilwell was going to play on the left of the three behind the striker in a 4-2-3-1. But like in the game, we were actually playing with a back three, so we, for some reason, decided to match Brentford man for man, which is a weird thing to do because Brentford are not doing well at the moment. So it's not even like you're trying to like condense the space or like try to like nullify the things that they're good at because they're not really playing all that well. It's like they're a good team, but they've been on a rotten form, especially since the start of the year.
Performances haven't been good.
And it's crazy because we looked pretty good in the first half. Obviously, Nicholas Jackson is like evil Darwin Núñez, where he is similar to Darwin, but with almost a third of the end product, which is actually saying a lot. But they are very like similar as far as like these chaos ballers, where it's almost like anything can happen at any point. Where he goes around Mark Flecken and he's one-on-one with the goal and he doesn't score. But I think about 10 minutes later, he scores a towering header from like the edge of the box. So it's kind of like the chance that you would have imagined was a lot easier to score. He literally just fell over. But he It's funny because Nicholas Jackson, I'm not as sick as like other Chelsea fans are. I do think he's very flawed and I do think he's very raw, but I also believe that like there is a player there. He's really good at like linking the play. He's really good at like giving us numbers in midfield and running in behind. When he remembers that the offside rule is a rule, he's pretty good at like bending his runs and stuff like that. Like he can be like he's a real asset. I think Mudryk not starting was a bit of a fuck up from Pochettino. I think he played obviously so well against Leeds in the week. So to not give him like an extra chance to like build on that. I saw something that actually says that every time that Mudryk has scored, he started the following game on the bench. So for Poch, who's trying to build confidence and is trying to like give players an equal chance, I don't think he's done that for Mudryk. Because he's played Mudryk for 2 or 3 games and he hasn't played well. But then when Mudryk does play well, he takes him out of the team. So it's kind of like where's the consistency at? There are other glaring issues in the team. I think Enzo Fernandez is a big problem in this side. I've been saying it for weeks. He does this thing where he just leaves. He's supposed to play in like a double pivot with Moises Caicedo, and he literally just goes wandering. There are literally times where, not in the Brentford game per se, but there are literally times where he's the furthest man, where he'll be beyond Nicholas Jackson. And it's like, my brother in Christ, we signed you as a like deep sitting central midfielder.
Is that not the instructions from Pochettino? Let's hear.
I think it is, but I think it's funny because he at the start of the season he tried to do many different things with the players. So for a long time he would play Levi Colwill at left back, and play Ben Chilwell like further down the line.
Oh yeah.
Like as this advanced like left winger holding the width. And that didn't work. And he decided to scrap it and play Chilwell at left back, and then Chilwell got injured. But he's been playing there again. I just feel like if it is the instructions, I can't really understand as to why he's telling him that, because he's got Conor Gallagher there, and Conor Gallagher is normally the most advanced, or he should be the most advanced of the 3 midfielders that we have.
And he's also productive.
He's done like he's one of our big like press triggers. He's really good at like he's one of the only guys who's like comfortable carrying the ball through midfield. Neither Enzo nor Caicedo are like natural dribblers. They can't really like dribble through like presses and stuff. Conor Gallagher's not half bad at that. I just feel like there are so many things in this team that like are still so dysfunctional, and like it's boring, and like people talk about it all the time. When you spend this much money, you expect at least like to see some of it like pay back. It's a very young team, but I during just to keep it relevant to the Brentford game, I actually missed the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half. Because I had to go somewhere quickly, and I got back I think around the hour mark, and I saw a stat that Chelsea, like we dominated possession, we dominated the chances in the first half, but we didn't register a shot on Brentford's goal, I think until the 75th minute, which shows that we completely just took our foot like off the brake, like entirely. So we like stopped playing. We effectively just stopped playing football. Yeah, no, it was crazy. But yeah, Pochettino, it feels like I don't know. On borrowed time. I still think we should give him at least until the end of the season. I don't think sacking him now does anything. I do still believe, like I'm still like in the Poch in camp, but I think when you drop points in games like that against opposition like Brentford, who are struggling as much as they are and as much as they have been, obviously we're mired in 11th at the moment, with no real, unless we start really like putting points on board. We've got Newcastle on next week Monday. Unless we start actually putting points like on the board, I just think it's going to be another season of mid-table mediocrity, and it sucks. So yeah, that's me.
Shame, dude. Sounds tough. Yeah, I thought Gusto played.
Guys are talking about title races,
really well. I thought Gusto played very, very well. I mean, I know you've spoken before about how good of a player he is, but yeah, just again, he's one of the bright lights in your team, bro. And yeah, he had a phenomenal
what's
game. I
interesting
mean, even
is-
that assist he had with Jackson, he's just so good at doing that.
Yeah, no, he's so good. That was his 7th assist of the season. This is his first season in England, mind you, and he's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's
exactly.
effectively supposed to be right back to backup to Reece James at right back. I think Cole Palmer is an interesting case as well, because you'd probably say in our team it's probably been Palmer, Gusto, and probably Conor Gallagher, who like performed semi-regularly this season. And Palmer he looked, I don't know if he looked tired, but I think for a guy of his age, he's obviously still 21 and he's done so much, but he struggles sometimes in games. Like as good as he is, like he also won't really do much for about 20 minutes. And obviously he's young and he's obviously not the final product. And it's crazy for a team like Chelsea to be relying week in, week out on a 21-year-old to effectively carry this team to any semblance of like success. But I think it was interesting because he missed a really big chance, I think, when it was still 1-1. And had he left it for Jackson, I think Jackson might have had a better chance to score. The ball again came in from Gusto. And Cole Palmer side-footed. But it's almost like, Thunder, it's almost like he doesn't lock his ankle, where he just swings his leg at it. And because he doesn't like lock his ankle, the ball flies wide, yeah. And he has 2 or 3 chances where, and it's funny because I don't actually think I've ever seen Cole Palmer just take a shot like with power. It's almost like if he's playing FIFA, the R1 button.
He's always finessing.
And everything
it's
that
always
he does
good in,
is
yeah,
finesse.
too.
So he only plays finesse passes and finesse shots. He never just takes a shot in anger. I've never seen Cole Palmer like put his foot through the ball. And there were 1 or 2 chances where, had he done that, he would have probably had a better chance than to try curl the ball like very like averagely from distance. I'm obviously not going to get onto him because there are much bigger problems than Cole Palmer. But I do feel like it's just a little bit like, it's a little bit annoying. We're a young team, and I think he also came off the bench. But these guys were brought on and there was like 10, 15 minutes left. And it begs you to think, like, why did it take Poch so long to make these subs in the first place?
As well, like, I think he's also trying to manage some of the players, like, and also just to, like, I think he's trying to manage the players and also, like, the expectations that they're trying to set for themselves. Because it's like, Cole Palmer's, like, doing more than what he is expected to do. Like, especially from coming from City. And also trying to manage, like, because he started at I would say we can say his performance is at his peak. So he's trying to like keep it constant. And if you imagine playing him week in, week out, by the time the season ends, or even before the season ends, he's gonna look like Pedri when he was playing like 72 games in the season and he's cooked. So I think that kind of makes
that was
sense.
abuse though, because that was a
You
little
see-
kid. I mean, Pedro was that's straight child abuse, bro.
You see,
It wasn't-
so
flavor, yeah.
because it also like kind of makes sense into what you were saying, like questioning Poch's team management and like how, like, you know, making certain decisions. So I think that would be the case, because like you can't, like, I feel like Poch is like the coaches in South Africa when they look back on their bench and they will need to take off their best player, and he's like, the rest of them are not cooking, but I need to bring someone on. And it's unfortunately like not a lot of players at Chelsea at this moment, like especially like Modric, Madueke, like, because I thought that these guys at least, you know, especially with Poch coming in, they would, you know, do good. And I still think there's room for them, but like Poch is like looking on the bench like, I can't, like, I really, what can I do?
Yeah, the trustworthiness is low, bro. Like, you can't put faith in any of those guys necessarily to pull out something. And of course, you need a balance. You need experienced players from which the youngsters can learn from and look up to. But Chelsea, it's just like these little kiddies, bro. Let's go grab some ice cream and go kick a ball and see what happens.
Yeah, no, true.
Interesting match, man. I'm keen to see that. Cool. We can maybe chat about a couple of Premier games. Yeah, very quickly. Yeah, we can do that too.
Bro. Now that is a controversy.
That's controversy, bro. First, flying, people were getting pushed, dude, and cards being given out. That show was dramatic.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid drew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was funny because
that was a terrible. How
they drew 2-all.
It makes no sense.
Especially when the cross is coming in, how do you know? No, game's over. Like how? How do you make that decision? Like that is horrible. I've actually seen there's this guy on Instagram that I see now and then. So he basically just goes over a couple of games and he talks about the officiating, especially controversial ones. And there's talks of having refs explain their decisions. They've incorporated it in they implemented it, in Mexico. I think Mexico, I can't remember what the other league is. So it's obviously leagues. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. So having a poll basically and having the ref decide, explain his calls. And I think we should actually have that because how do you justify that? Like, how do you justify knowing at that time? You know what I mean? Like, you can then determine whether it was a mistake or whether it was, just a mistake in general.
Or is refereeing according to the rules of the laws of the game?
He's just lost in translation and he's like, I was supposed to play or whatever. Because the rules are very complicated. Like, don't get me wrong. It's very complicated. Exactly. But, I mean, dude, that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible.
It was horrible, dude. So, Valencia played at home, 2-2 draw. And Brahim Diaz, right? I think he was the one with the ball. Yeah. So he was dribbling and dribbling right close to the box. And I think if I remember correctly, from what I could see, is as soon as he dribbled like outside of the box, although it was still, well within the final third of the pitch.
Final third,
as soon as he got out of the box, the ref was like, okay, cool, I'm calling this. And then he blows, and just about a second later, Diaz whoops the ball in, Bellingham scores. Then they say, no, I blew, bro. And then that's insane for you, bro.
And what finishes me the most, the way, because the game ends and everybody's going around the referees and the officials, and the guy that calls it just stands there no, it's finished, you can leave. And Bellingham, everybody's just trying to basically they're in his face and the rest of them, and I was no, it's finished. And I'm yo, this guy, he says it's finished. I say it's finished, you can go. And I'm that's such a La Liga thing, because don't get me wrong, I want to hear his side, but the way he's I would say his verbals and non-verbals, it clearly shows I don't care, you can leave. This is the type of refereeing that you'd see from five-a-side or something. It's nah, you can just leave. I'll stay here. You can leave. And I was yo. But now, that was crazy. That was crazy.
But it's important. It's important to that refs stand their ground, because I mean they obviously face a lot of abuse as well from players.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is important that it's to the ground. But I mean, at times like that, I remember seeing Man United, I think 2 seasons ago against Brighton, where they blew the final whistle and they're no, bring it back for the penalty. I can't intervene for something like that, for example. Be okay, I think you got it wrong. I didn't really watch that game, but was there any context to it? Did the players stop when you blew the whistle, or you know what I mean?
I don't think there was much time. Diaz was dribbling and he had it in his mind to whip in a cross. But from my perspective, he not delay, but he dribbled until he felt he was in the best position to give the best cross. Right? So he took a few extra seconds. But as soon as the whistle blew, there wasn't a lot of time that elapsed between when the whistle blew and then when he crossed. He just pretended to not hear it for like a second or two, maybe 2 seconds at most, and then just whooped it in. And the rest is history. But I do agree with Keanu in the sense that, sorry, Kay, I do agree in the sense that, look, they did blow before he crossed the ball. It was the final whistle, it was loud and clear for everyone to hear. Then the goal was scored. So in terms of like the flow of the game, I agree, the referee and whoever, they must stand their ground and say no, but the game was blown to be over. So whatever happens after that is inconsequential. Whether the blowing was right or wrong, that's a different, argument. That's a different conversation. Yeah. But the whistle was blown, so that should be. Are we okay?
I think you guys are making 2 good points, but I think you're joining the points poorly. Because I watched it, I think the ball was mid-air when he called time. I don't think you can call for time when a cross is in.
No, it wasn't mid-air. It was before the cross.
No, it was
before the cross.
Like no, I promise you, it was mid-air. It was mid-air, dude. It was mid-air. He blew it mid-air, dude. The ball was the ball was mid-air, and then he blew for full time. And it's like, obviously, by the time Bellingham gets his head on it, it's like, yeah, dude. I do believe that referees need to be respected. They are still authority figures. But if a referee fucks up this badly, then the ref also needs. It's funny because Gideon, this would have been the perfect episode for Gideon here, because Gideon loves to complain weekly about La Liga refs.
No, but they
I do believe that I came onto the field at full time on behalf of Nottingham Forest to contest the breaking play that had happened further up the field. So I do there are lots of and it's funny because even in England, the PGMOL have come out with more statements this season alone than any other season about VAR decisions and refereeing errors and stuff. Sure. So I do believe that referees do need to be I don't know if they need to be cut more slack, but they do need to be taken as serious authority figures. But at the same time, if a referee makes a harrowing mistake that's that bad, the referee also has to be held accountable. You can't blow for time there. I mean, I don't think you're allowed to blow for time when the ball is active in the final third, in either final third.
No. Yeah.
I think the ball has to be either out of play or in the middle third for you to call for time.
Yeah.
So the fact that he blew in the first place is
I just watched that scene right now while Kito was talking. Yeah. And this is the situation. It wasn't mid-air really, right? If this is the ball, this is a teabag. And this is the player's foot. It's as he kicks it, Keanu, it's it's literally as he takes the cross. So it's as the ball leaves his foot. I'm not saying it's right, guys. I'm just saying this is what happens. As his ball hits the foot and as the ball launches off, that's when the whistle is blown, which is so crazy. That's
bizarre. It's
bizarre.
It is bizarre.
Ask him to actually explain that. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get that.
You must stand on business and explains.
Dude. So just tell you he felt like it. He just felt like blowing.
I felt the vibes, bro.
His wife was like, if you're home late, it's going to be a mess. He was like, let me end this game now.
I'm running
I'd rather answer to the refereeing body than to my wife. Exactly.
Yeah. So also interesting about La Liga. So this happened on Saturday. I think it was Saturday evening. And so Real Madrid, who are of course top of La Liga, drew, which presents an opportunity for Barca and Girona to, do something to make up the points. Dude, Barca drew last night in a boring-ass game with Athletic Bilbao, which we'll talk about more in a minute. And Girona, who've been so good all season, lost 1-0 to Mallorca, who's in 15th place. Guys, do you want to get a title race going, or what are we doing? What are we doing? Real Madrid drops points. They're such a good side. And the top La Liga teams go and fuck about. Ridiculous. Tanda, you want to talk us through
Can I just say something before we move on? I just want to say something about the Madrid game. I think obviously that it's obviously the referees, the dickhead in the situation, taking all of the headlines. But what I found really poignant was Vinicius actually scored twice. He got Real Madrid back on level terms, so they were 2-0 down. And in this exact fixture last season, he was suffering racist like abuse chants from the Valencia fans. So obviously to go back to the Mestalla, a place where he was racially abused last season, and he scored 2 goals, and he did like a Black Panther like salute. I feel like that's really big, and I feel like that should have been the thing that we ended up speaking about, which is like coming back, like not letting like these horrible people, these racist fans who probably even shouldn't be allowed into football stadiums. That was almost lost amongst the chaos. I just wanted to give some I wanted to pay some reverence to that, because I feel like it's really important.
Absolutely agree. And I think
also because racism largely goes unpunished in La Liga as well.
Yeah, no, they just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, and it also, dude, that's the thing. Like,
I mean, I saw the doll that they had of Vinicius Jr. They basically put his face on a doll and had him by a noose, like for the team coming in with the bus. It was the heck.
How can you make it?
How do you get away? How do you get away with shit like that, dude? It's ridiculous. And I think
effigies, bro.
That's insane, bro.
Effigies.
That's insane.
Ridiculous.
And the ones that like the game keeps referring to, where
bro, this isn't the 80s.
In La Liga, bro.
Yeah, but that game that Kids was talking about as well, like that was also just where the racism escalated to the point that it like visibly affected Vinicius on the field, and it was a whole thing. Like, it's not to say that racism doesn't happen in other games. Like, it happens all the time. It's just that, you know, like more often than not, players just have to ignore it and play on. It's only when it's that bad that it becomes like noticeable, or it's a thing, or, you know, like it's called out. So it's crazy, bro. Like, it's really intense. And yeah, for Vinicius to do that, he's an amazing player, bro. And he's an amazing character as well. For someone so young that also developed to such high level, so young, you know, and then to experience racism, like, yeah, bro, mad respect to that guy. He just puts his head down.
Yeah, no,
and,
he's
like, shows his brilliance on the pitch, bro.
Yeah.
100.
He's a phenomenon, though.
Fantastic player, bro. Amazing.
We can talk about Barca quickly.
Yeah, we'll try to stay awake.
I did not watch the game.
Yeah, I won't lie.
I did not watch that game.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been a waste of 2 hours of your life. Anyway, sorry, Tana.
Nah, don't blame me, because I would keep it short and sweet the way it was in my perspective. Because like, I watched the first half only, and a bit of the second half when they started off, but I could just see like I think 10 minutes in, like they were just like, I can see they were not switched on, because I think what slowed them down was when Pedri left, and I just knew, I know, like, because usually when Pedri is there, things are ticking, and now when we don't have like the conductor, gents are out of tune from like defense to going forward, and then I think Lamine Yamal also came on. He didn't like have the same impact as he would before. But yeah, no, Barca, I don't know. It was just an off day for them. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna lie, because yeah. But Bilbao, like, they were more convincing. I would say they were more convincing. I'm surprised that they didn't win the game, because they were more convincing than us. But for the most part, yeah, no. A point is a point.
And the timing to have a short game, bro. The chance was there to gain some points. It's very sad.
Yeah. So that's all I can.
And also, not gonna get any worse in the future.
Also, no Pedri, no De Jong. You guys have Napoli in the Champions League next week. That's gonna be huge. So yeah, tough times are lasting in in Catalonia.
And I saw like a stat where it's like, okay, we've got like I saw a stat where it's like since Ousmane Dembele left, like from his last injury, it's now Pedri with the ACL, it's De Jong with his injury, now Pedri. And I was like, geez, like that's crazy. Because like Ousmane Dembele is playing fine, he's not injured, but like that's a long time, and we are just like, I don't know what the Barca medical team is doing, but they need to sort themselves out or like help the players.
Bro, it's been a problem for years, bro.
You guys should activate more levers and renovate the hospital, dude.
Oh, we need donations.
It's been an issue for
been a problem
for many years now, dude.
But yeah, no, it's
yeah,
like I'd say like the last thing about Barcelona, like into whatever we can talk about, but like it's funny, like even thinking about like where Barca were to where we now, because like before I was like, I want to see how things are gonna happen post like Messi and everything, and like looking back on it, I didn't expect it to be this bad, because of course like at that time I was thinking K-pop, the man was still there, things will might be okay, but this is just, I know this is worse than I expected, but it's football and business. What can we say?
This Barca downfall is fueling
dude,
my life.
Yeah.
I love
dude, just before we move on, just before we move on, dude, like I just feel for Ilkay Gundogan, dude. Like this guy is seriously a world-class player, and I mean that shows every game. Even now that he's playing at this, let's call it struggling club of Barcelona, he still puts in good performances because he's an amazing player. I mean, he just comes off the back of winning a treble with City and captaining the side, you know, to go play for Barca for whatever reasons. Does anyone know?
Gideon will tell you. Gideon will tell you.
Yeah, Gideon will tell you. And you know, he probably has massive respect for the club and the legacy. And now he's there and he's like, hey, I'm surrounded by like what's happening. Hey, dude, that guy.
Can you imagine you're playing next to Oriol Romeu?
Can you imagine? Whenever Romeu enters the chat, dude, I can't take it. Losing Sergio Busquets, bro.
Dude.
And I don't even sense. Anyway, we can move on.
Yeah, no.
We can should we wrap it up? We don't really, should we do Champions League previews? The pictures are not great this week.
Yeah, we can do some quick predictions.
Yeah, because we've got 6 minutes left.
What?
Okay, 6 minutes.
There's a new structure for Champions League next
Oh,
year.
yes.
Yeah,
not a fan. Not a fan. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It'll be interesting.
No.
The thing is, Chelsea are not going to be in the Champions League for years and years and years. So for me, it's like, I used to watch. I've got no skin in the game. You guys don't even understand. I think I watched a video breaking it down. Like, obviously it's 36 teams and they are going to be like sorted by like coefficients and like ranking to like play each other throughout. And like every team will play like now one team like what, like 8 times or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the top 8 teams. Yeah. And then the top 8 teams go through to the last 16, and then the teams from 9 to 24 play each other for the finals thing. Oh, my AirPods died in one ear. But yeah, I think it'll be cool. I don't know. Like I said, I've got no personal skin in this game. I'm just a Champions League spectator at this point. So you guys,
didn't know. I didn't know Champions League was broken or that it needed fixing. To be honest,
but do not fix it,
bro.
I mean, it's football at the moment. Like we see so much injuries. These guys are playing so much football now. Incorporating the structure that requires
and the games are so long.
a good
That
point.
is
Bro.
it's
The Club
madness.
World Cup is also next year.
Oh,
Yes.
They're restructuring that, so
Dude.
it's gonna be an extended Champions League on top
Yeah,
of the Club
UEFA's
World
just
Cup in the
straight
summer.
milking it.
Yeah.
It's sick though, bro. Like there's still players at the center of this. And the other thing is that, like, generally looking at the top teams, squads, there aren't that many squads with that much quality can give us like highly entertaining football for that many matches. You know what I mean? Like the teams are going to be playing, they're either going to get their best players injured, or we're going to see like the kids, you know, come through the ranks and get minutes, which is fine. Like, why are we making all these changes, and why are we like you're making it? Yeah, we're really stretching the players, bro.
It's
Yeah.
too much, bro. It's too much.
It's a bit too much, bro.
There's so much uncertainty with football in general at the moment. I mean, like even the talks of potential blue card. That thank God they cut that shit. But I mean that all these things, the Super League. I mean, that's
that's still going on in the background too, bro.
Yeah, it's too much politics in football at the moment, and I mean, at the end of the day, we watch it for the sport. We don't want to hear all this other nonsense. Like that shit needs to come to an end. It's frustrating as a fan.
Hey.
Okay, let's do some quick Champions League predictions. I'll read the games out, and you can just say what you think the score will be. Let's start with Bayern Lazio. It's the aggregate's 1-0 to Lazio.
1-0 to Lazio.
Yeah. What you guys thinking?
This game is in Munich.
Yes.
I wanna say Bayern.
Bayern to win
Yeah.
by more than a goal.
I would even say even one goal, because like Bayern are weird, but like they're struggling. But when they're at home, for some reason they would just like try something. So I think they won this weekend. So I think I'm just going based on that. That's like bad evidence, but I'm just going based on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what's the final score, Thunder, do you think?
I'm saying 1-0. I'm just saying 1-0.
To who?
To Bayern.
To who? And then what? Extra time.
And then what, Rob?
I just to
because remember it's 1-0 to Lazio, bro. Yeah.
No, I'm just going straight for Bayern. Like whatever the scoreline is, it's Bayern.
Okay, Keanu, what do you think?
Bayern are unpredictable at the moment. I completely understand it.
Agreed.
They can drop one a day and then be trash the next day.
They could show up. They could win 5-1, guys. Like,
yeah. I mean, they've got
they
quality.
won't though.
I think it's gonna be a tight game, and I would say probably Bayern 2-0. I think it will be a tight game, but I think Bayern will get it over the line, considering they're playing Italians.
Our time's running massively thin, so just say the scores so we can wrap it up. Okay, what do you think?
I think 2-1 Lazio, but it is just for the sake of it. It's the ex-Chelsea managers derby. It's Sarri versus Tuchel, and they both won European competitions with Chelsea. I think if Lazio win it 2-1, that'll just be sick. So I'll say Lazio 2-1.
I'll say 2-2 draw, Lazio Bayern. Cool, next game, Real Sociedad PSG. PSG 2 goals up. I would say 3-1 to PSG.
I would say 2-0 to PSG or 2-1 to PSG.
I'll say 1-0 Sociedad, but they'll lose on aggregate.
Yeah. Keanu?
I'll go with the draw. Yeah, 1-1.
Okay. Cool. We're just gonna do score predictions for one more game quickly because Leicester Man City. I mean, I don't want to predict that. So Real Madrid Leipzig 1-0 to Real Madrid. Quickly your predictions, guys. 1-0 to Real Madrid.
3-0 Real Madrid. It's at the Bernabeu. 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
I was gonna
Madrid.
exactly. I was thinking 3-0.
I'm gonna say 2-0.
Yeah, same.
Cool, 2-0. Okay, cool. Shot, James.
Guys.
Catch you next week, same time, same place.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Tell
your friends. Leave a
Let's
comment.
get that pace up. We're chasing 20